Okay, space fans, strap in. Today's deep dive is going to be out of this world.
Literally.
Right, we're diving into SpaceX. And let me tell you, this company,
They're on another level.
they're not just talking about Mars, they're building the rides to get us there.
Yeah, it's not just talk, it's action.
Exactly. Check out their website, Falcon Heavy. Their big rocket has over 5 million pounds of thrust.
That's gotta be, like, what, the most powerful rocket ever?
It's up there, but here's the crazy part. That's like 18 747s strapped together.
18. Get out of here.
No joke. Launching all at once. Like, who even thinks of that?
That's SpaceX for you, though, right? They take these insane engineering feats and they make them relatable.
And exciting. It's like suddenly space travel isn't just for astronauts anymore, you know?
Exactly. So how'd this whole thing even get started?
Well, Elon Musk founded SpaceX back in 2002.
Yeah, 2002. That was the year of.
Okay, but get this. He didn't just want to get to space.
Which, let's be honest, is most people's goal.
Right. But Musk, he wanted to make space affordable, like for everyone.
Okay, now that's ambitious.
And sustainable, like this wasn't just a one-off trip for him.
He was thinking big picture from the start.
Always. Every single SpaceX project, from those early Falcon 1 rockets all the way to Starship.
Don't even get me started on Starship. That's a whole other.
It's all part of this crazy plan to make humans a multi-planet species.
Which I gotta say is a pretty bold goal.
Bold and almost bankrupted him at one point.
No, this is the Falcon 1 story, isn't it?
The one and only. Musk poured so much cash into that first rocket, he was practically eating ramen noodles.
No way.
He even had to split his remaining funds between SpaceX and Tesla.
Talk about a risk. I mean, most people would have folded, right?
Most people aren't Elon Musk, my friend. That risk. Best one he ever took.
Oh, yeah, when you put it like that.
The Falcon 1, it proved they could build rockets, reliable ones.
Which is, kind of important when you're talking about space travel.
Essential.
Yeah.
That caught NASA's eye. Contracts started flowing in cargo missions, crew transport to the ISS.
And the rest is history.
History in the making. Remember when reusable rockets were pure sci-fi?
Please, I'm still trying to figure out how they land those things on a drone ship.
Right. SpaceX made it a reality with the Falcon 9. Land, relaunch, repeat. They even give discounts now, if you don't mind a used booster.
Like a frequent flyer program, but for rockets.
Space miles. Gotta love it. And that reusability, that's the key to their whole affordability thing. Traditional rockets, one and done, crazy expensive.
SpaceX is out here changing the game, making it more like catching a rideshare than, buying a whole spaceship.
Speaking of spaceships, let's talk Starship. This thing is going to be huge, literally. Fully reusable, designed to haul over 100 tons of cargo.
And people, don't forget the people.
To Mars and beyond. Can you imagine?
It's mind-blowing. We might actually see regular trips to Mars in our lifetime.
Lunar bases, space tourism, the possibilities are
endless.
Okay, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, gotta address the elephant in the room.
Oh no, what happened? Another Starship test gone wrong.
Well, there have been a few hiccups along the way.
Hiccups? Those were some pretty spectacular explosions, you gotta admit.
Space flight's risky business, we gotta remember that. And Starship, that's a whole new beast.
They're basically inventing something from scratch.
Exactly, setbacks are gonna happen.
The important thing is, SpaceX, they learn from those setbacks.
They're constantly testing, tweaking, improving. That's their whole thing.
Iterative design, right. Fail fast, learn faster.
Exactly. And it's clearly working, because check this. They're now the top dog for commercial launches.
Worldwide. Beating out, who is it? Arianespace?
Yep. They're even building spy satellites now for the government.
Wait, seriously, spy satellites?
Reuters article I found. Fascinating stuff. Space exploration, national security, it's all getting kind of intertwined.
That's a whole other deep dive right there.
We could talk for hours. But for now, I'm just kind of blown away by it all,
It's a lot to take in, that's for sure. What stood out to you most so far?
Honestly, the sheer audacity of it all. Landing rockets, building starships, talking about colonizing Mars like it's a weekend trip. It's wild.
It's definitely not your average company, that's for sure. Wild doesn't even begin to cover it, right? But here's the thing. It's not magic. It's engineering, and SpaceX is crazy good at it.
Seriously. Landing a rocket on a drone ship in the middle of the ocean? Like, how?
It's all about precision, timing, and a whole lot of really, really smart people.
Their website actually breaks down how they land the Falcon 9. And let me tell you, it's even cooler than you'd think.
Oh, yeah. Lay it on me.
Okay, so picture this. The rocket's coming back to Earth, right?
Yeah.
Falling at supersonic speeds.
Okay, that's terrifying.
Well, it gets better. They use these things called hypersonic grid fins to steer.
Hypersonic grid fins, that sounds like something out of Star Wars.
Right. They're basically these super strong, heat-resistant wings near the top of the rocket.
So they're controlling a supersonic rocket with tiny wings?
Pretty much. But it's not just the grid fins. The engines fire in this perfectly timed sequence, slowing everything down for a soft landing.
I mean, I know it works. I've seen the videos, but it still feels like something out of a movie.
It's mind-blowing. And those drone ships, they're not just parked out there randomly.
Where did you think they were, just hanging out?
Hey, you never know. But seriously, it's all about fuel efficiency. Sometimes the rocket goes so far, it doesn't have enough juice to make it back to the launch pad.
Oh, that makes sense. So the drone ships are like strategically placed rocket catchers.
Exactly. They're there to catch those returning boosters, like a giant net in the ocean.
SpaceX really thought of everything, didn't they?
They're like the chess masters of space travel, always a few moves ahead. And all of this, the reusable rockets, the pinpoint landings, it all comes down to one thing.
Making space travel more affordable.
Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. They're making space accessible not just for governments and billionaires.
Which is huge. Think about it. Before SpaceX, launching even a small satellite was crazy expensive.
Tens of thousands of dollars per kilogram. That's like more expensive than gold.
SpaceX changed all that. They brought the cost way down.
They basically said, space, yeah, it's for everyone now.
I like the sound of that. And it's not just about launching stuff into space. This affordability opens up a whole universe of possibilities.
Literally.
Yeah.
Scientific research, space tourism, maybe even mining asteroids for resources one day.
It's like the Wild West, but in space.
The final frontier, here we come. Okay, but we got to talk about Starship again.
Oh boy, the big one.
Because that's not just about cheaper space travel. It's about making humanity a multiplanetary species, which is
a tad ambitious, wouldn't you say?
maybe just a tad. It's like saying we're going to build a city on the moon and actually meaning it.
I mean, hey, they landed a rocket on a drone ship, so who am I to say it's impossible?
Right. But Starship, that's their ultimate goal, the thing that all these other innovations are building towards.
And who knows, maybe in our lifetime we'll see those first human footprints on Mars, thanks to SpaceX.
It's crazy to think about. Okay, we've talked a lot about the technology, but what about the people behind it all? What's it like to actually work at SpaceX?
From what I've heard, intense, demanding, not for the faint of heart.
This picture of like a 24/7 work culture, long hours, constant pressure.
But also incredibly rewarding, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. You're working alongside some of the brightest minds on the planet, literally building the future of space travel.
It's got to be a pretty unique experience.
Totally. It's like, forget Silicon Valley, this is Space Valley. And the people who thrive there, they're driven by something bigger than themselves.
It's a calling, not just a job.
It's more than a job. It's like joining a mission to Mars right here on Earth. But all this talk about innovation, we can't forget about the downsides.
Yeah, there are some big questions about the cost of all this progress.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about the space debris issue, for one.
Right, more launches mean more junk floating around up there.
And that junk, it's a hazard, right? Could smash into satellites, other spacecraft.
Definitely a concern. And then there's the whole light pollution thing.
Those Starlink satellites,
yeah,
they're great for internet access.
Game changer for remote areas, for sure.
But astronomers are less than thrilled.
Yeah, all those satellites reflecting light, it's messing with their observations.
So it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
How do we balance this incredible progress with, responsibility?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And to SpaceX's credit, they're not ignoring the problem.
They have made some changes, right?
Yeah, they've tweaked the Starlink design, made them less bright.
And they're working on ways to, deorbit old rockets and stuff.
Exactly, trying to clean up after themselves, which is a good start.
Definitely. But it's going to take a global effort, right? We all share this one planet, even if SpaceX is the one with the rockets.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Space exploration, it's not just about the technology, it's about how we use it.
It's about the future we're building, down here and up there. So as we wrap up our SpaceX deep dive, what's the takeaway for our listeners?
I think the biggest thing is SpaceX is proof that we can still dream big, that incredible things are still possible.
Absolutely. They're pushing boundaries, challenging the status quo, and whether they get us to Mars or not.
Which, let's be honest, would be amazing.
The most amazing.
Yeah.
But even if they don't, they're forcing us to rethink what we thought was possible.
Exactly. And that's what makes SpaceX so fascinating. They're not just building rockets, they're building the future.
And that future, it's full of possibilities, good and bad. To our listeners, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep looking up, because the future of space is waiting to be written